Hey coders, this is Tunc from Codex, and today I'll be teaching if statement in Python.
Slowly kisses passing by the river.
Alright, so to briefly explain if statement, it is one of the three control flow statements in Python. Along with the other two, we'll be using if statements quite a bit because it is pretty much allows us to control a whole bunch of things in our code. It is the simplest condition statement, and simply what condition statement lets us do is that basically check conditions and change the behavior of your code accordingly. Well, basically we'll make it check condition of the code given, deciding if it's true or false, and runs a certain block of code depending on the result. You'll understand better once I show you an example here. Alright, so let's just pretend that we have a number, and I will name it num. That's just a short way of saying number. So the number is going to equal 200, okay? And here is how if and else statement works. If the num is smaller than 200 in column, so this is really important. You must put the column at the end, otherwise it's not going to work. Okay, so just don't forget that. Do this. Number is smaller than 200, and let's run this. So our number is 100. Basically, once we said the num is equal to 100, well, num is gonna stand for 100 here. It's not gonna be just a word there, it's gonna be 100. So 100 is smaller than 200, which is true, and if it is true, we're basically saying, alright, print number is smaller than 200. And if you don't know what print is or how to use print, well, there's a video I explained how to use print, create files, and just that basic stuff that you should know before actually start getting into Python. Okay? So if number is smaller than 200, I want you to print number is smaller than 200. Else, if it's not, so every time we say else, we're gonna put columns at the end, just like if. So else, print this number is over 200. Okay. So our number is 100. If it's lower than 100, lower than 200, we're gonna print numbers smaller than 200. If it's bigger than 200, well, basically we're gonna say this number is over 200. Okay, so let's run to see, and number is smaller than 200. Well, we can change our number here, right? So what if we say 300 here? Well, 300 is gonna go here, and then 300 is smaller than 200. Well, it's not really right. So what our code will do is actually execute this else statement here. So let's see, and as you can see, this number is over 200. So as you can see, if and else statement is pretty logical and easy to understand, and we'll be using if and else statement anywhere in Python. If you're doing data analysis or machine learning, AI, data science, you'll use it everywhere, okay? So just make sure that you understand the basics of how if and else statement works. I'll be covering one more thing, which is ELIF. It stands for else and if, so it's kind of a mix, but how it works is basically actually, I'll just teach you guys right now. If num equals 200. So this was if number is smaller than 200. ELIF, if number is equals to 200, you're gonna say print the number is 200. Else, if so, it's basically being, the else is gonna be standing for if it's higher, since we already have the smaller, the 200, and the only thing left is larger than larger than 200. So right now we have a code that will basically determine if the number is lower than 200, if it's equal to 200, or if it's larger than 200. Okay, so when we run it, the number is 200. As you can see, that's how ELIF works. So we have if, ELIF, and else. Those are the three that we will be using a lot in Python. Okay, so just play around with it and try to do your like little project where you can do like, I don't know, a similar project to this, or like whatever you like. Just play around with it and try to understand the basics, do some practice, and yeah, I think that's kind of all it for this video. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in the upcoming videos. Stay tuned. Bye bye.